Hi there, my name is Juji. Welcome to my channel. I'm so happy you're here. This is a space for anyone and everyone who's interested in exploring personal development and relationships through the human design system. Well, guys, I decided to do a follow-up to a video I made about comparing human design and spirituality. And actually, it was less of a comparison and more of a putting into context. And one of you commented that you would have loved to see a comparison of human design and astrology, since that is a really big part of the esoteric world as we know it. And so I decided to do a video doing a compare and contrast. Now, I want to start by saying that human design is a synthesis of all the world's esoteric knowledges, which includes astrology. But as a synthesis, astrology does not appear in the human design system in its original form. So one of the things that I think would be helpful is to look at both types of charts and compare them. Let's take a look. Now, I want to preface this by saying that I actually do not know how to read this chart. I have seen these many times, and I know a lot of people who do know how to read these charts. And I hear a lot of talk of different houses and fire signs and different things like that. But let me tell you something, I did not start out in my human design journey knowing anything about this. So this is a typical astrological chart. This happens to be the astrological chart of Ozzy Osbourne. And the reason why I decided to pull this up is that you can kind of see that it is a wheel. You can look at all of the different signs and see which of the planets they are in and therefore get this chart. So this chart represents the moment of your birth, the imprintation, all of the different degrees and all of the different planets and where they were on this wheel. And human design has that too. Let's take a look. So for this example, I'm actually going to use my chart. So I'm a 6-2 split definition sacral manifesting generator on the left angle cross of Endeavor. Nice to meet you all. And this is a typical body graph that I use anytime that I do a reading for celebrities or anything like that. If I'm doing a personal reading, obviously. And what you're looking at here is two things. You're looking at the personality side, which is denoted in black. And this is a snapshot from the moment of your birth. So these are all the planetary values as calculated based on the moment of your birth. Now, the thing that sets human design apart is that there is another calculation, the design calculation, and this is denoted in red in the chart, as you can see. And what this represents is a pre-calculation. This is about 3 months before you were born. And this chart that you see here in the middle is a sum of both of these things. So human design gives us not just the personality side, what you have conscious access to, it also gives us the design side, which is your unconscious self. And because we've never had access to this unconscious part of us, human design is often called a cosmic upgrade. Not to say that there is anything wrong or bad about astrology. It's just not nearly as detailed as this system tends to be. I also wanted to show you guys what it looks like as a mandala, because the astrological chart that we looked at was also a wheel. So this is called the Wheel of the I Ching. And as you can see, each of the gates that I have defined in my chart is represented on this wheel. You can see that the symbols of the astrological signs are also represented in this wheel because, again, it is a synthesis and it doesn't exist in its original form. So these are all of the gates that are in Libra, for example, which it happens to be that I am. And you can see that all of these other gates are in different signs, and that's not really something that we necessarily look at when we're looking at these gates, but it's an interesting way to compare and contrast the two. So I mentioned earlier that the reason human design is a cosmic upgrade is because it gives us access to both the personality and the design side, which makes it more detailed. But there's actually a bunch of other reasons why this is a much more detailed chart. For example, each gate has 6 lines. So even if somebody has the same gate as you, it might not be in the same line, and the description for each line is very different. So it is very detailed when it comes to how it describes this one aspect of you. It also shows us how each gate connects to another. We understand what it means for a gate to stand on its own, but when it is connected to another gate, it forms definition and shows us where our life force energy lies within us. All of our defined centered are our life force. This is what's consistent and reliable within us always. This is who we always are. But this body graph also shows us where we're open in the chart, where we have no definition. And this shows us where we filter the world. What you're filtering is either coming from the planets outside of you or it's coming from another person. When somebody steps into your aura, you are taking in their electromagnetic field of influence, meaning you're taking in all of this chemistry from them. That's why it's so important to understand the chart overlays that I talk about all the time, because understanding that helps you to understand how that person affects you. So human design gives us the opportunity not only to get much more detailed about the positions of the planets, but it also shows us what we are unconscious of, what we don't have conscious access to. It also gives us an opportunity to see who our not self is, meaning where we're filtering information. It also gives us the opportunity to see how we take in information, what the best way for us to take in food, what our strongest sense is, what our ideal environment is, what motivates us, and how we view the world. So in short, it's basically a one-stop shop that was given to us by the cosmos, which is something that I mentioned in this previous video, as a way to survive an uncertain future. Because at its core, human design is a decision-making tool. It doesn't just tell us who we are, it tells us what our body needs. It gives us an understanding of what our unique built-in GPS system is and how we are here to make decisions correctly as ourselves. So even though it's a really complex system, it actually folds up really nicely into exactly what you need. This isn't about becoming an expert. It's very difficult to memorize all of these gates and lines and all of the different channels and everything like that. But every single person on this planet can get value out of what this chart says about them. If you have any questions, I would love to answer them for you. Please drop them in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to get notified every time I drop a new video. You can also follow me on Instagram at HDbyZ, and you can find me on my website. The link will be in the show notes. There you'll see that I offer personal human design readings, couples readings, a relationship mentorship program, and I also run an online community for conscious women who are practicing strategy and authority through the human design system called the Beehive. Until next time, ciao for now.